So, good evening, everyone. Here we are. It is, of course, the Fruit Nut News on 16th, Thursday, the 16th of April, 26. So, how are we doing, guys? We're all okay? Beautiful, 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 beautiful. So, good evening, everyone. Absolutely tons of shit. I can't keep up. Cannot keep up, ladies and gentlemen. Cannot keep up. 7 p.m. on, of course, the 16th of the 4th, 2026. So, hope we're all okay. Quick hello to everybody tonight. We've got Shepherd's in, Bill Geo's in, Pam's in, Sharon's in, Angela Davis in, Glenn Pierce is in, Lisa's in, Joanna Unwin's in, Ann Taylor's in, Strong Wilder's in, Kira's in, Graham's in, Mimi's in, Brenda Corcoran's in, Karen Moore's joining us tonight, Jason Thomas is in, and, of course, Smarts. Well, okay, everyone. Very, very interesting. Very, very interesting. So, big news tonight on Mr. Orban. But most of all tonight, we wanted to talk to you about Pizzagate and Frazzle Drip. Now, this, of course, was a speech earlier I don't know whether it was today or yesterday, where Pizzagate was being spoken about by J.D. Vance. Very, very interesting that this was spoken about. He also mentions Frazzle Drip as well, which is a bit of an heads up there. Do you know what I'm saying? So we shall wait and see. So, if of course people like J.D. Vance and people of that caliber are now starting to talk about Pizzagate and Frazzle Drip, well, there you go. That just says it all, doesn't it? It's no more a conspiracy theorist, as they say in the trade. Now, Donald Trump, Jerome Powell is, of course, the man in charge of the Federal Reserve. Now, apparently, someone else is coming in, not quite sure who it is, but Jerome Powell has refused to step down. So Donald Trump has said, I'm going to sack you. Now, I don't know whether he's sacked him today. I'm not quite sure, but I think that's what's happened. So we will, of course, wait and see. 24 hours, we'll see what happens. Okay. Now, apparently Starmer has been ordered to issue a work from home policy in regards to the fuel crisis. Okay. We also heard that at a recent Cobra meeting, certain issues were spoken about in regards to fuel rationing. So, very interesting. Could this be leading to military occupation, military law, maybe? Who knows? Wait and see. Now, the same rhetoric is coming out of the Witch of Eastwick, von der Leyen, or should we say von der la Dick. It's a similar situation in the EU. I mean, they've just gone a bit further and saying, don't spend, don't travel, don't drive, don't buy fuel, don't cook, and don't eat. Brilliant. That covers about everything, doesn't it, really? So makes us wonder that we've got some kind of a blackout situation in the process. Now, asylum seeker staff now are advising illegal immigrants to pretend that they are being domestically abused and beaten, etc., etc., etc. Very interesting. Just going back to Jerome Powell. The stand-in for Jerome Powell is a guy called Brad Garlinghouse. So that will be an interesting one to see what happens there. Anyway, back to the asylum seekers. Yeah, the asylum seekers are being advised to pretend that they are being domestically abused in order to stay in the UK. So, yeah, very interesting. Meanwhile, of course, the JCB, which is the big digger company, etc., in the UK, apparently are in serious negotiations about moving abroad due to the inheritance tax. Now, remember, JCB are a private company. Like family owned. I think it's still family owned, JCB. So they're on about moving abroad because of the inheritance tax, which also applies to the farmers. Unfortunately, they haven't got the option of moving abroad. So anyway, we shall see what happens. Now, this morning, I think it was this morning or yesterday, I spoke to you in regards to the Irish overspending by 3 billion on government shit, and I did say to you that it was happening in the UK as well. So we've got a prime example of this from our Prime Minister Keir Starmer. Just moved into a flat at number 10, spent £30,000 doing the flat up. One of the items that he bought was a £1,600 shower screen. Fucking hell. I don't know. And then, of course, the big question on everybody's lips is the king going to visit the USA? Well, it could be proved to be quite difficult simply because the king is dead. So it's going to be an interesting one to see, this one. I think the visit is due. I think it's 27th. I'm not sure. Excuse me. It's due on I think it's the 27th, 28th. So anyway, once again, sit yourself at 24 hours and see what happens. And then, of course, we got Prime Minister's Question Time. Once again, for the third week on the trot, Keir Starmer has refused to answer questions by the opposition party, Kemi Badenoch, in, of course, the House of Commons. He was once again warned by Lindsay Hoyle, the Friends of Israel, that he needed to answer questions, and that's why it was called Prime Minister's Question Time. Wait and see. Meanwhile, there seems to be some pretty simple shenanigans going off in Birmingham. A convicted terrorist from abroad, I'm not quite sure where he comes from, but his name is Shahabat Butt. Interesting name. Maybe he's friends with Keir Starmer, I'm not quite sure. But anyway, he's already blown up a church. He's blown up a hotel, and also he blew up the British consulate, or he had a go at the British consulate. He was convicted, came out of jail, and decided to get himself over to the UK. He was basically welcomed by open arms by the British establishment, and he's now running for office in Birmingham. Very, very interesting. Very, very interesting. Now, here's one that you're going to love. Now, when we talk about the MOD, which is the Military of Defence, we talk about, the Army, the Navy, the Air Force. Now, the Ministry of Defence have been ordered to save £3.5 billion in 2026 by cuts. Okay. Now, this is really interesting because we just had HMS Dragon have an absolute massive fuck up, apparently going to Cyprus. I'm not even sure whether or not it's there yet or not. I've got no fucking idea. Apparently it's broken down somewhere. I don't know where it's been broken down, but that's the story. So anyway, we'll wait and see. But the MOD have been ordered to save £3.5 billion in 2026 by the UK government. Okay. Now, this is the irony. Meanwhile, apparently, military funding is going to increase by 2.7%. What? How does that even work? I mean, the irony of that, being told that you've got to save 3.5 billion, but we're still going to supply your funding, and we're going to increase that funding by 2.7% year upon year. Oh my God! Oh, and meanwhile, of course, Starmer shells out another £1 billion, or just shy of 1 billion. We're not to a few quid nowadays. Gave Mr. Zelensky another £1 billion yesterday. It's incredible. And then we've got, so this is the Hungarian Prime Minister. Now, I did say to you, watch this guy, didn't I? I wasn't overly sure what was going to happen, I'll be quite honest. So that's why I told everybody to sit at 24 hours and see what happened. So it appears that the Europeans, Keir Starmer, Obama, the fucking bad gang, were funding the new Hungarian Prime Minister, Magyar, his name is. Okay, so they were funding him, and he got into power. Mr. Orban stepped down. As you all know, Mr. Orban has massive policies on immigration and paying the EU, etc., etc. It's fucking brilliant. So after paying Magyar quite a considerable amount of money to basically run for Hungarian PM, and basically he wins. But that wasn't the end of it. No, that wasn't the end of it. Magyar has rejected 90% of EU policies. Brilliant. And this, of course, what this does, it leaves Mr. Orban to basically challenge the leadership of the EU, which is fascinating. Talk about a double cross, but talk about what a masterful move that is. So brilliant. And then, of course, Mr. Putin. Now, President Putin has said that we are ready for a full military escalation. Now, reading between the lines, I don't particularly think he's talking about a military escalation in regards to the West. I think what he's talking about is a military escalation against the cabal. Okay, and it seems as though with all the little pieces moving in around the world, it seems as though that is what is about to happen. Now, listen, I've got no idea when it's going to be, so don't even fucking ask me, because I just don't know. I'm trying to, I'm trying to sort of work it out myself, just as well as you guys are. But that's what it sounds like to me. And then meanwhile, tomorrow, which is Friday the 17th, not only do we have a full moon, but we also have, I think it's 7 planets are aligning in Aries. Now, according to, the people in the know, this has never, ever been recorded in human history before. So this is like a biblical, fucking scenario. This is. It's absolutely unbelievable that this is sort of taking place. It's incredible. It's incredible. And I don't know whether you were aware. There seems to be a lot of trouble around the world with steel. Now, apparently, Chinese steel, which goes in car wiring looms and it goes to make Chinese steel, seems to be failing on a massive scale. And this is because, of course, that British steel is the finest in the world. American steel is okay. It's about on par, but it's not as good as British. British steel is renowned. Okay, British steel is renowned throughout the world for its incredible properties. Now, it seems as though that the steel beams that were chopped up and from the Twin Towers, it seems as though these beams, this steel, apparently went to China. It was sold to China. Now, of course, the Chinese have bought it, not knowing what the fuck they're buying. And basically, of course, this steel was contaminated, and it was contaminated with thermalite, which was used to which was used to cut the steel girders in the first place. Secondly, there's loads and loads of concrete dust and all kinds of shit in there. And, of course, rubble as well. So when these beams were severed using thermalite, it creates a contaminated area across what they call the cut surface. Now, with me being a welder back in the day, and also a mechanic and an engineer, I kind of know the metallic properties of basically what happens to steel, or should we say what you need to do to it in order to weld it. So it needs to be like really, really clean. I mean, proper clean. I mean, like proper grinding clean. But of course, all this stuff was all sold to China. It was put in a big furnace, and it was basically all melted down. And now, of course, you are seeing the rewards of this. VW, the VW car manufacturing, have just put out a warning to all of their electric cars not to charge the batteries up to 100%. VW owners are only allowed to charge their batteries to 70%, and the reason that is because the charge that is outputted from the battery when you put your foot down, the charge is melting the wires inside the vehicle, inside the wiring looms. Now, the wiring looms are obviously what we call cheap monkey metal. You never used to get this back in the day, but it's a more common problem. And one of the reasons, the reason is that cheap wiring looms and cheap steel is being produced in China, and of course it's substandard. Now, what's been happening is the car manufacturers like VW, in order to keep their profits high, etc., they have bought the cheaper wiring looms from, of course, China. Unfortunately, it's going to bite them in their arse because, as you well know, some cars are setting on fire, which is not overly good. Very interesting. Now, remember, ladies and gentlemen, that steel, and this is a little shout out to NASA. Okay, now remember that steel has a melting point of 2,300 degrees. Very interesting, you might say. Well, let's just tell you what NASA said. NASA said that the Artemis re-entry vehicle produced a heat signature of over 3,000 degrees. So seems to me that it's actually impossible for the re-entry of a capsule back into the Earth's atmosphere. And this was proven, and I think I put it on my wall, but this was proven by the fact that the Artemis capsule basically was dropped out of the back of a C-130. Okay, this has all been filmed and recorded. If you missed it, you've missed it. If not, well, there you go. So anyway, very interesting, very, very interesting, very, very interesting. Very interesting. And of course, remember, of course, that with a 3,000 degree temperature, wouldn't you have thought that when that capsule hit the water, the big question is, where was the steam, ladies and gentlemen? Where was the steam? Well, you may well ask. I ask myself as well. Where was the fucking steam? Anyway, listen, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to get myself off. We'll see you all again tomorrow. Friday tomorrow. Don't forget to watch the water, as they say in the trade, especially around the Strait of Hormuz, which could be quite an interesting firing point, so to speak. Anyway, listen, love you loads. Take care. We'll see you all again soon. And as soon as the live's loaded, I'll post it. So, yeah, take care. See you soon. Cheers, bye.